Welcome back to Ask Allison. Here's today's question. I'm working through your courses and just going through the writing process is challenging me, and I'm beginning to notice how much doubt and fear I carry within. The why can't I have what I want section, there's so much negative thought and belief. Any tips on working through this? So I'd like to thank TherapyNotes for sponsoring us, who, by the way, has an online platform now. Like, you can use them to be able to see clients online virtually. The video conferencing piece is live. So for context, this is coming from someone in the Abundance Party who's working through the Build the Right Practice course. But this is relevant to all of us. I'm going to give you a few seconds to check in with yourself, and I really want you to do it. Don't play a game on your phone while you're listening or look at somebody's post on Instagram. Just for a second, I want you to ask yourself these questions. What do you really want in your practice? Like, truly, deeply want. Not what do you think you can have because you've seen it, or like, what do you really, really want? Think about work-life balance, think about income, think about ideal clients, or just think about one of those right now, because that's a lot to think about. So I'm just going to pause for a minute and encourage you to think about it. What do you really want? So we have a lot of stories about why we can't have what we want. You have your own practice. You can set it up however you want, truly. So when you imagine what you really want, you probably have some rebuttals about why it's not possible or why it's not reasonable. So here are a few truths. If you're marketing well, you can set your practice up however you want and fill it. Your rebuttals are not accurate. Many of us have some learned helplessness from the agencies that we've been a part of. Sometimes it's compounded by our childhood or our adolescence. I think most of us have always assumed that work is work and we shouldn't expect it to be amazing, and you don't get to make good money and work not a ton. We have some old programming we have to work through. But amazing is possible. Yes, you still have to do notes, absolutely. But you don't have to deal with an inappropriate boss or a threatening client or a 12-hour day. Another truth, there are plenty of us living a pretty damn good life as private practitioners, setting things up exactly how we want them. And there's no reason that I should get to have that and you shouldn't. You deserve it just as much as anybody else. So I'm going to tell you to step on, I tell you every step on how to get there in the Abundance Party. So it's already available to this person as a party person, and anybody else who wants to join. You're welcome to join us in the party. But when you know what you want, all you have to do is follow the steps to get there. I mean, it's not a magic wand. Like, it's not a snap. You're not like, I want this, do two things and have it. There's work to be done, but it's all available to you. So whether we want to admit it or not, we're also really influenced by those around us. And they might be reinforcing some of this doubt. So we're influenced by what I would call like bad example people, bad influences. People who insist like, oh, well, private practice isn't a cakewalk. You work long hours and you barely take home more than you did in agency, and the pressure's all on you. I mean, that can be true if you set your business up for suffering. So don't do that. It's something we talk about in the Abundance Party. We dive into it with each of our inner circle folks. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. And I've heard that too much. And it honestly pisses me off. So we're also really influenced by naysayers who say private practice doesn't work. And those are the exact words I've heard. I don't even know how many dozens of times that seems to be like a thing. Private practice, quote, doesn't work. Okay, like, I don't know what it is with that statement, but there are plenty of happy, successful private practitioners in everybody's city, right? There's no reason to think private practice doesn't work just because maybe the naysayer didn't know how to make it work. Or maybe they saw a friend who didn't know how to make it work. It's a skill set that you have to learn. It's not impossible. We're also really influenced by the shamers who say things like, oh, you don't take insurance? Well, I'm not in it for the money. Or, oh, you work with a niche? Well, I believe everybody needs help. These therapists are among the most toxic because they present their judgments as righteousness, and they don't have any insight into the fact that your choices about your practice and your life are just as valid as theirs. All that to say, I'm getting heated. All that to say, good community is vital, and having examples of different practices that are inspiring is imperative. Yes, you can see teens during school hours, absolutely, even outside of COVID. Yes, you can work 3 days a week. Yes, you can charge $200 a session. Yes, you can take a month off. Yes, you can have a ton of sliding scale. Yes, you can make insurance work for you. We all need good examples and information from people who have learned along the way, and we need supporters. So I rarely encourage anyone to spend more time on social media, honestly. But for the person who asked this, I'm going to suggest hanging out in the Abundance Party Facebook group more. Anybody who's not already a member can come and join us in the Abundance Party at abundanceparty.com. But I think that you might need to like hear from more people, like ask like, hey, who's seeing, somebody actually did this the other day, who's seeing teens during the day normally, like outside of COVID? Who's charging more than most people in their area? Ask those questions. If you have a certain thing about your practice that you're feeling insecure or concerned about, that you really want to create, but you've got this rebuttal in your head. We have tons of examples in there. So that's what I have for you. And we do a lot of mindset work in the inner circle, if that's a better fit for you, if you really want to just like get into it with us. Not in a Facebook group, but like in an actual conversation. You can get on the wait list for that over at abundanceparty.com/inner circle. Doors for that open in August. So yeah, if you guys have any questions for Ask Allison, please shoot me a DM over on Instagram. I'm abundance_practice_building.